The tsunami has come, and the sister gets to take a little break and in with me for the last 2 months. And I thank her and I love her for the information, awareness, and resources that she has shared for people like me and people who don't know about what's going on in the world of Medicare. So, Robin, how are you, Queen? Are you okay?
Hey, HB. Yeah, I'm doing good. AP is finally over, so we still alive.
Did you come through storm?
Uh-oh, what'd you
Did you
say?
come through the storm okay?
Oh yeah, and
I
we
said, did you come through this storm okay?
oh yes, and we did have some people that waited to the last minute, but we got everybody taken care of.
Yeah. Well, thank you again. And I want to say this, from the bottom of my heart, what I try to do with RadioNext.tv is give information, awareness, and resources about things that are going on that most people, they overlook. They really don't want to talk about that. And for the last 2 months, we're being given some very intimate information about what people need to know as they transfer into this from Medicaid to Medicare, 65 and retiring, all these things that are combined together that are confusing, you know.
Yes. Yeah, it can be very
Let me ask you
confusing.
this. So let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I'm 67. Now that this daggone October 15th to December 7th initiative is over, what do I do? What should I be doing next?
So this is a perfect time for seniors to start looking at their retirement um, plan, looking at life insurance. So, for one, making sure you have life insurance, but not only that you have it, but find a policy, making sure that all your information is in one spot. So, when something does happen to you, your loved ones can be able to get that information and your retirement information. Start assessing like, am I saving enough? Do I need to look at adding on an annuity? Do I have money sitting in a retirement account or a savings account that needs to be moved so it can grow more and safely? So, those are things you need to start looking at as you're going into the new year. And now that your Medicare AEP is over.
I'm going to break script for a minute because I have had a situation that happened with me. They were watching us. They have a brother who now cannot make wise decisions. You understand
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so we need to figure out how do his loved ones come in to be able to, if it was no power of attorney, and that's why I try to tell people to get this stuff together early
Yes.
versus when situations arise. And I didn't mean to interrupt this, but it came to
Okay.
my attention how many things that we can avoid versus living
Mhm.
with, to make sure that we have the proper people in place with power of attorney before somebody gets destitute.
Yeah, and that power of attorney is crucial. I was just talking to one of my friends this week, and she was talking about how her uncle just took a turn for the worse within like a couple of months. Now his memory is starting to fade. He's not remembering things as well. So it can happen gradually or it can happen all at once. But this is the time, at the end of the year, is the time to get those power of attorneys in place. It's simple documentation and just make sure you have all your finances in place and to have them all in one place so a loved one can easily locate them.
Now, is there a deadline like December 31st before the end of the 2025 year? When can those changes be made?
So there's no deadline when it comes to selecting a power attorney. There's no deadline when it comes to getting life insurance or when it comes to looking at an annuity. So these are things that's just ongoing and there's no deadline tied to them.
Now, annuity. You mentioned annuity in there. Come on. Help me explain to the people that are listening to me in this old school fashion. What in the heck are you talking about? Annuity.
So what we do is we actually do fixed index annuities. So that means that you kind of participate in the market, but you're never going to lose any money because you have a fixed interest rate that's only going to give you so much of that gain, and then the company takes the rest of the gain. But then you have a floor that's always zero. So even if the stock market goes below zero, you will never feel that effect. So it is a great savings tool. It's a great growth tool because those interest rates are going to be higher than a regular savings account. And it's something that easily can be done and looked at. And we can sit down and give you what's called an illustration, what's more like a quote that can look at your money and see how it will grow. So it's definitely something to look into if you have a chunk of money that's sitting, I would say, in a regular savings account, but you want to see a higher interest rate gain on it. But at the same time, you don't want to see any negative percentages come in play because at this age, you don't have time for a negative impact on your money.
Robert Shackelford,
Yes.
you know I respect you and I love you. And when we first started talking and we went to lunch, I told you I'm gonna keep it real. Most
Mm-hmm.
people don't even understand annuity. Most people don't understand proper investments. And what we're saying is, I guess if we could break it down and strip it down, your money will be directed to agencies and corporations and people that are known to gain profits throughout the history of what we're doing. And then we'll also introduce some new things where your money can be invested into. Is that true?
That's true. Mhm.
Okay. So we don't want to guarantee anything. We want to say we're going to guide you to the best forecasted futures of where your money will earn you money.
Correct.
Okay. I'm just trying to keep it clear. And you got, yeah, yeah, I told you, I don't do this thing like I'm the expert, but I'm
Oh,
talking to the expert. And if people want to know more about how to transfer their futures and how they're going to get the best return on their dollar, then that's what they need. Even after the Medicare thing, what care insurance providers help provide is, why we've been doing this, correct?
correct.
Okay, throw your pitch down.
And, and I know seniors don't
You
like change.
know, no. Let me say this. You sent me the email and said, Jumbo, keep it light since the enrollment period is over. And this is light as I know how to be. So get your groove on.
Yeah, and so for that fact, I know seniors don't like making change, but if you know you have money sitting in an account and it's just in a regular savings account that needs to be invested in a safer or safe, more high yield account, then just give us a call. So that's all I'm going to talk about with that because we definitely need to hit the marketplace insurance before we get off.
Now, let me ask you this. People who did not make the proper moves and what they needed to do in the marketplace and insurance, uh, are there any things that they can do to help correct that before next year's enrollment period?
So there's two different things. So for Medicare clients that would like a change, but they didn't get to make their change before December 7th, They always have the opportunity to change their plans if they're already in a plan January the 1st through March 31st. So you don't have the opportunity to enroll in a Advantage plan, but if you're already in one, then you can still make changes come January the 1st. Now, for some of those people that have a chronic
Now,
illness,
I
uh-huh.
know last year, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I know last year I was paying about $187 automatic deducted out of my Social Security. Are there going to be any changes in the price of my payment?
Yes, that will go up to $202 on January the 1st. So that's your Part B premium, and that goes up to 202 come January the 1st.
What are the differences between the prices of, let's say, if you wanted to add a waiver, C, D, or any of these other alphabetic
So usually for
we got C, D, and what else?
you got A, B, C, and D. So A and B is that original Medicare, and the Part B is what is going to cost 202 a month. Part C is what's considered the Medicare Advantage plan, and that's what wraps the A, B, C, and D all together. Usually those premiums are zero. Most often those plans have a zero premium, but it is a pay-as-you-go plan. So that means you pay when you go to the doctor or when you actually have a service, and you're going to pay co-pays or co-insurances and make sure you're meeting your deductible. Part D is the drug plan, and that's usually going to be wrapped up in your Advantage plan. If you are on a supplemental plan, then you have to have a separate Part D drug plan. And those can run anywhere from a zero premium all the way up to about $70 a month on average.
Let me get this to the layman terminology before we shut this down today. Basically, whatever your waiver after A and B needs to be directed specifically to what maybe some of your ailments are and what you need to do to cover the cost of those insurance premiums that will come about based on where you are.
Hmm, I I don't know. I don't know what you mean by waiver
Come on.
and the
Yeah,
cost.
well, maybe that didn't do it well enough. Let me do it again. If you have any ailments, yes, let me give you this example. Uh, I have arthritic hip situations that might not be a pharmacy procedure versus a physical therapy procedure. So I need to look at C and D to say which ones work better for me and my premium versus uh, ongoing diseases like cancer or whatever.
Okay, so I can see where you're going with comparison shopping based on your ailments. So, like I said, when you're looking at a Plan C plan, most of those have a zero premium, but they have co-pays tied to them. And if you're someone that needs a lot of physical therapy or speech therapy or occupational therapy, you want to look at what does those co-pay cost within that plan, because keep in mind, if you're going to go to physical therapy 2 or 3 times a week, you don't want to pick a plan that has a high copay for physical therapy. And they can range anywhere from maybe $10 to $50. So you want to look at a plan that their copay is more like $10 for physical therapy, because you already know with arthritis that you're going to be in physical therapy more. So that's where it comes down to making sure that you have the right plan for you. And that's why it's good to sit down with a broker because we can go through all those co-pays and co-insurances, help compare them just for your situation. Why are you smiling?
Okay, broker, I need you to call me like, because hell, that is what I wanted the people to know. And when I can land a question that gets the answer, that is what I know the listeners need to hear. I am satisfied and happy. And you just answered it. So you call me so I'll know through my broker, which is Insured Care, insurance providers, and find out what I need to know to get the best plan for my uh, arthritic hip ass. How about that?
I will definitely give you a call so we can do that comparison.
Robert, I told you I'm raw and I'm real, but that is exactly what I wanted to hear. So people
Yes.
will know where they need to go to get the right instruction on this service. Because I'm telling you, if you don't talk about it like this, we won't know.
Yeah, and you got to be careful
Now,
in
what's
comparing
happening
how much
is
people. Oh, I said you got to be careful in comparing how much people got on a food and utility card. Because if your costs are going to be way more because your therapy copays are more, then it might not be beneficial for you to go to a plan that will give you a higher food card, a grocery card. So you got to keep that in mind. And that's what we look at, a full comparison, not just who gave out the highest food and utility card.
Well, I will say this, man. Over the last 2 months, I think that we have really benefited and helped our community and understand what they need to do, what they need to know. And if they don't take advantage of this, that's their business. But we have put it out here for the last 2 months. And if anybody needs to understand and learn more about how to get the proper information, awareness, and information about insurance, give me your information again, my sister.
Yeah, and one more thing I want to touch on is the marketplace. So that is the Obamacare
You with
insurance.
me?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So one more last thing I want to touch on is the
Yes, I
marketplace.
can.
Yeah, that is the Obama insurance. And a lot of seniors are on this insurance because they're below 65. So that insurance goes up to 64. Keep in mind the deadlines you have to keep in mind during open enrollment is if you want your insurance to start January the 1st, you need to be enrolled by December the 15th. After December the 15th, your insurance is going to start in February. And you have until January the 15th for open enrollment. But keep in mind, if you don't enroll by December the 15th, then your insurance is not going to start in January. It's going to start in February. So for those seniors that are not on Medicare, but you have health insurance under the marketplace, we can also help you with your marketplace plans.
So, what I'm really hearing is this is an ongoing 12-month piece, but we really condense it down to October 15th to December 7th. But we need to know all of these things as we go along. And that's the reason we're going to talk, and I'm going to create information awareness and resources about the changes in the times and the dates that people can make those changes.
Yeah, when I come back from vacation next week, we will be back the week of December the 23rd, and we will be focusing on marketplace. So we'll definitely, those last 2 weeks in December, we'll focus on the marketplace to make sure everybody understand how that insurance works.
Hey, look, I appreciate you, and I'm praying for you every day in that other part of your life where all of these changes and political arrangements happen. And I appreciate you and what you do for our community, my sister.
Well, thank you. I will continue to fight at the State House.
And we're going to keep letting them know what you do, how you do what you do. And thank you for Insure Care and Insurance Care Providers. Tell Spencer Jumbo Love, and let's continue to breed this information so people will have more resources to battle the things that they need to know.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for your support.
Jumbo Love, my queen. RadioNext.tv, Jumbo Love. We're going to get back to the